present after we're done here today. It's my great honor to be here today for a presentation of the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal. And that, of course, by your invitation, you probably got delivered to you, is for Mr. Ed Blake. I'd like to share with you a quick biography before we get into the presentation. And what we're going to have then afterwards is we're going to have Maria, Ed's granddaughter, who came and submitted a letter about why she thinks her grandpa deserves this medal, which sparked the nomination process, which then had me fill out the appropriate paperwork, and which has gathered us all here today. Edward Sidney Blake was born on October 20th, 1928 to Alfreda Blake, née Davis, the first residential school teacher for Northwest River, and Sidney Blake, a trapper. Edward, the eldest of 4 sisters and 4 brothers, was delivered by nurse Kate Austin. Edward was raised in a trapper's home at a place called the Rapids, which we all know, just 3 miles upriver from the community Northwest River. His family spent winters in their Rapids home, which meant that at the age of 6, Edward walked 3 miles each way daily across the ice to Northwest River to attend school. Eventually, he moved to the Grenfell Cottage in Northwest River and attended school until grade 6. Being the eldest, Edward was expected to help support his family and therefore discontinued school to help his father trap in the winter and ban ducks and salmon fish in the summer. His first job away from home was working as a waiter at the base mess hall in Goose Bay for McNamara Company. After his summer job, he went back to helping his father trap. Following his early initiation into the workforce, Edward worked at many jobs and learned many skills. He worked as an oiler on a diesel shovel, a painter, and a heavy equipment operator. He spent 26 years working for the Canadian and American Armed Forces as a snowblower operator. During that time, in 1954 and 55, Edward helped build the radar site at Northwest Point. Edward has always been proud of his community and has always looked out for its best interest. He was instrumental in shaping his community to what it is today. He was very happy to have the expertise in using heavy equipment to clear the land and dig the basement for the hospital that served Northwest River for many years. Edward also cleared the land for the community's graveyards and leveled land for the town's skating rink. Along with other community members, Edward participated in getting the town of Northwest River incorporated in 1958. He served as a volunteer on many committees, offering advice and lending a hand where needed. He served on the Mokumene Trail Corporation, the local school board, the board of the United Church in Northwest River, and at the age of 83, 84 today, happy birthday, Edward. He's still an active member of the United Church board and continues to keep the church parking lot snow-free as he has for the past 36 years. Edward puts a high value on education and actively participated in school events such as Education Week, school fairs, heritage fairs, and was a mentor to students in a cooperative education program. He was also keen on sponsoring local teams such as minor and senior hockey teams and canoe regatta teams. Edward ran a successful business for 30 years. He started an oil business in 1966, which required running an oil line across the river between Northwest River and now Shehaji. The oil was pumped through 2,000 feet of hose. After the bridge was in place, he delivered oil by truck. He was also an Arctic Cat snowmobile dealer, selling and repairing snowmobiles. And Edward's most recent and gratifying accomplishment is the restoration of his family home in the Rapids, which was originally built by his grandfather, Thomas Alfred Blake, in the 1800s. Edward's 3 daughters, 2 sons, and numerous family members are very proud of this heritage home, as they are the home that he built with his own hands that sits next to the old homestead. He's very happy that he could create these works of art for his family to enjoy for years to come. Currently, Edward lives an active life at home with his dog Rover, and his wife Kathleen is also here today. And I'd like to say that she spends her time at the Seniors Complex up in Happy Valley Goose Bay, and he has many family members and friends around him who feel that their lives are richer because he is here. The Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal is to recognize those individuals that are seniors of distinction, that have contributed to the community, have made the community and the lives of other people richer because they were here, because they participated in so many things and went over and above the call of duty, if you will, of being a community member. I'd like now to invite his granddaughter Maria up to say a few words and read out the text that got us here today, which began the nomination process for this medal.
For For as long as I can remember, my grandfather has been a devoted family man. He worked hard to provide for his family, to ensure they were happy and knew they were loved. He was always and still is a very hard-working person. I'll never forget the Christmas dinners when there would be a knock at the door and somebody was looking for something from his shop that they desperately needed. He made sure to help them the best that he could, and then returned to finish his dinner. My grandfather has taught me many things in life, not skills exactly, but traits that I would only be too proud to acquire. Through the start and successful life of his Articat dealership and repair shop, he has taught me that hard work will get you far and earn you respect that will last a lifetime. He has shown me the importance of being an active community member. He has always been involved with his community through volunteering, sitting on boards, and providing his assistance in any way possible. My grandfather has taught me the importance of family. He's there for each one of us if ever needed, and takes pride in all of his grandchildren's accomplishments. I have many fond memories with my grandfather. One of the first memories of my grandfather includes an old kitty cat snowmobile. I don't know why he had this kitty cat, because all of his children were grown at this point. I guess it was to keep us grandchildren occupied. I remember riding that thing around the house for hours on Christmas Day. It must have been a way to get us out of the house. I'll never forget that cheetah print seat. Grant would take all of us to his cabin at Big Point every Good Friday, so we can sit out in front of the cabin to ice fish and spend time with the family. It became a tradition until he constructed the new family cabin located at his former homestead where we now have Easter dinner. The cabin that he built at the Rapids is something that makes us all very proud of him. He worked hard by cutting the logs to recreate the wood to build this beautiful cabin that his family can cherish and enjoy for years beyond his life. This cabin is built alongside of his childhood home, which he has amazingly restored. Along with restoring the home, he has placed all the things he has found from the old days inside. It tells you a story of what life was like back when he was a child, had they lived and survived. There's one thing that Grant loves as much as he loves us grandchildren, and that is his dog, Rover. The dog is his companion now that her grandmother is in a protective care facility due to Alzheimer's disease. Wherever Grant goes, the dog goes. He loves the boat, the snowmobile, and of course the cabin. In today's busy lifestyle, it seems as though people have little time for the important things in life until it is too late. Because of my Gramps' influence on my life, I try to take a step back from it all and remind myself that I need to hold a special place in my life for the people that I love, because life is too short and we never have enough time. We call him Grant, and I'm honored to call myself his granddaughter. Thank you.
As I said before, the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal is about recognizing those contributors to our society, to our communities. Ed has clearly made a huge difference on the life of all of the members of his family, and especially with that tribute there from Maria. What happened then basically is I filled out the nomination papers, wrote a letter of support, and it's brought us all here today. So without further ado, I'd just like to say that whether or not you're telling stories as he's famous for, whether or not you're clearing land, you're helping out youth with the school projects, whether you happen to be volunteering with various committees, councils in your community to make your community a better place, or whether you're in business and contributing to the economy of our community, it is with great pleasure and honor that I recognize here today and present Mr. Ed Blake with the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Award.